All right, welcome back from our little quick commercial break. Blackout, I totally would rather have you throw a mix down on something like that, but we have short notice, so it's okay. Actually, let me cue Blackout here up and go from there. Okay, so tonight's spotlight guest, I want to go ahead and bring him on. We have Devin Graham. Devin, are you live?
Yes, I am live.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I want to introduce you, but it's like you have so much going on that it's like it's so empowering. So what I want to do is, for the listeners, I just want to say that you're an actor and director, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and just plug it because I know you do all this amazing stuff, this footage with videos. So go ahead and tell us what you do.
All right, so I am a content creator for YouTube. So I create online videos that essentially or hopefully go viral as far as they get millions and millions of views. And I've been doing it consistently for the last couple of years now. I think I have around 120 million views total, and I'm becoming one of the top growing YouTube channels in the world. And I'm basically getting sponsored now by a lot of big companies, and I'm doing a lot of big things as far as traveling all around the world. And I mean, I create YouTube videos for a living, and I love doing it, and it's just growing and growing and growing. So that's me in a super nutshell Reader's Digest version.
That's awesome. And you know, I was talking to my other host here, and you know, I found out about you through my dad. He was showing me YouTube videos, and I guess you did a video with, I don't know the lady's name, but man, I should know that too. But she does the violining and stuff, and she's dancing.
Yeah,
so
Lindsay Sterling.
Yes, yes. So he really follows her and likes her stuff. So I was like, let's find out who shot this video, and there you were. So I was like, oh my God. So
Sweet, that's awesome.
My favorite video so far, like I liked your Assassin's Creed
parkour.
Yeah, parkour. Yes, that's it. I love that one, and I also love the longest rope swing. That was insane.
Let's not forget. Yes, thank you. That was one of the funnest ones.
What's that, Nomo? Which one are you talking about?
Let's not forget his human catapult video.
Yes, the human slingshot. Which I'm actually, in probably a month, I'm going to release a follow-up to that video. And we built a human slingshot probably 3 times bigger. We had several broken bones just from impact to the water, and we kind of went all out, so that will be out in like a month from now. So, yeah.
Oh, my. And just while we have, like, people calling in and listening, what is your YouTube channel, just so I get it right, so people can actually go and look at it while we're talking?
Yep, my YouTube channel, it's Devin Supertramp, so you can find it by going to youtube.com/Devin, DEVIN, supertramp.com.
Awesome.
Or you can just type in Devin Graham, and it will be the first thing that pops up as well. So
Devin Graham, yes. And now you just recently went to Hawaii. What was that all about?
Yeah, so I'm getting contacted now by a lot of video game companies because I've done a couple. I did a big Zelda video, and it got millions of views, and then I actually contacted Ubisoft, who makes Assassin's Creed, and I asked them about doing a Assassin's Creed video, and I first said I'd love just to prove myself that I can get you guys a lot of kind of attention, you know, and hit a different audience. So I did my first Assassin's Creed video, which got, I think it's around like 14.5 million views, which I think tomorrow will be my most watched video, within a couple of months. And I did that video, it took off, and then they were like, we love this, we would love to hire you to do another Assassin's Creed video. So I did a follow-up one for their new game, Assassin's Creed 3. And then from there, they gave me the opportunity to do one on their other video game that comes out next week, Far Cry 3. So they gave me a budget where I could go to Hawaii with several of the people that I work with. And we went down there and we shot a video like the same location that they shot Jurassic Park, and basically any movie that looks like it was shot in the tropics, we shot that there at a place called Kualoa Ranch. So that video actually gets released tomorrow morning. So it's one of my biggest kind of productions that I've done, and it's one of the most complicated shoots I've ever done, but it's based off the video game Far Cry 3, and that's what brought me to Hawaii. So can't complain too much.
Really excited to see that one. And you know, you spend, I noticed you said something in behind the scenes that, you know, you spend a lot of hours editing, and I edit myself, so I understand the concept. Explain your editing process and how long it takes you for some of these videos.
Right. So I'm a perfectionist. A lot of people are like, you have the coolest life and you get to travel all around the world, you know, and do so many fun things. But most people don't realize is 95% of my time is not out in the outdoors doing these awesome things. It's me in front of the computer editing. So, I mean, I'll spend a day shooting, and then I'll spend usually around 3 to 4 days, like full days, like 20-hour days, editing like constantly. So usually that's my process. I edit on Final Cut 7. And then usually for most of my videos, except for recently, I do all my sound design as well, you know. I do everything but my music, and then I have one of my friends or several of my friends who do my music, and that's kind of the process as far as how that goes down.
So would you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Yes, I would. I mean, I went to film school with the whole mindset that I wanted to make feature films for Hollywood. And as I started doing that, I ended up actually dropping out of film school, and I started working for all these companies, and it was just kind of corporate videos. And I realized that regardless if it's the Hollywood system or these corporate video system, I was getting stuck working for someone else. And they were my boss, and they were like, well, you can only do this, you know, we don't like this. And they were controlling everything I was doing, and I was like, I got to get out of this niche. So that's kind of when I discovered YouTube, working through another company at the time called Orabrush that was making YouTube online videos. And I decided to start my own YouTube channel and see what I could do with it. And literally it's just taken off and exploded, and I've loved it. And what's so great about it is I'm my own boss now, as I don't have a studio or someone above me saying what I can and can't do. The people that determine what I can do is my audience. So my audience is my boss, and to me, like, that's the most rewarding thing about what I do.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm so glad that you actually took that leap. A lot of people, you know, I've seen them just like kind of like, you know, I want to do that, but I'm afraid to take the leap and go out on my own. And for you doing that, look at all this awesomeness you've created. I mean, this is your work stands, you know, it speaks for itself. It's just incredible. There isn't one video I haven't watched that just blew me away. You know?
Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. And my question to you would be is, how long have you been playing around with video? Because I know myself, I've been doing videos since I was like 14, and that was back when we had like VCR, and I'd film the screen to get different edits, you know, I mean.
Yeah, right, for sure. No, I literally started like as soon as I could. I almost want to say walk. Like I'd start with my parents' cameras, and they're always like, you can't touch the camera because...
Oh, you cut out there, Devin. Again. We still got you on the board, but you cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, now I can. Yes, go on.
Okay, cool. So I'm not sure where you lost me, but I was shooting when I was little with my parents' cameras, and I was literally constantly breaking them because I was always trying new things, you know. But they were super, super supportive of what I was doing. So I'd say probably started around 5 or 6 as soon as I could understand what the record button did. And I'd start making movies like with Legos. I do like little stop animation movies. And then from there, I started making little music videos with my brothers and sister where we'd be dancing to the camera to a song. And then from there, like, I hit high school and I started making snowboarding videos with my friends. You know, so I've always been into basically every scene as far as the music video scene, the athletic stuff. And then when I went to film school, it was more kind of storytelling stuff and more narrative stuff, like the stuff you kind of see with the Hollywood system. So I've had a lot of kind of, I guess, experience through everything. And, I mean, that's the big thing for me is I've been doing it literally every day. People say, like, what do I have to do to get to where you're at? And really what it comes down to is constantly doing it, even if you're failing at it or even if you don't know what you're doing, still just going out and shooting because every time you do that, you're learning something new.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do with different cameras, and, you know, it's just like, you know, you learn these concepts. Time of days are big things. You know, like for like me, when I shoot certain videos, I look and I'm like, okay, this is a sweet time of day. I'm gonna come back tomorrow or later on in the week and you know, find that sunset just right or that sunrise. You know, just getting out there and doing it. Do you have like a game plan as far as like what videos you're gonna shoot, or does it come like spur of the moment? You like, oh, I have this idea, or does someone come and tell you, you know, this is what we need?
No, it kind of depends. I try and keep up to date with the trends because all my videos I hope that they'll get shared, you know, like the reason I create, and I think the reason why anyone creates any kind of content is that people will view it. So I stay up to date with kind of what's trendy and what's popular. So like, for example, the one I'll be releasing this week, the Far Cry 3 one, the video game comes out the following week, you know, so it's a popular thing that people are going to be searching. You know, when we did the original Zelda video, the video game was coming out the exact same week, so we basically time things around when we know things are going to be more popular. And then constantly I'm just looking at as far as I look for content that's just different and things you didn't expect, you know, like the human.
Oh, you cut out on me again, just that little piece.
You can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Okay, it's good. Yeah, it'll happen sometimes. I mean.
Oh, no worries. No worries. But, yeah, constantly just trying to think of ideas. And what's so great now is originally it was kind of just me coming up with ideas. And I kind of established myself as a guy that just does kind of weird, out there kind of things. And from there, people started contacting me with the same kind of ideas, and now people are coming to me and pitching their ideas, so I don't have to do as much work as far as the thought process and the creative process, as I have other people coming to me, and they're pitching me ideas from all around the world. You know, like a couple months ago, I was in Hungary shooting with like one of the most amazing basketball teams out there as far as in Europe that does like crazy tricks, you know, and they just contacted me through my YouTube channel, and they thought their stuff was similar, so they flew me down there to do a video on them, which I'll be releasing that in a couple of weeks from now. So that's kind of how that system works out.
Man, exciting. So basically you you just do your thing, and then like you're pretty much in charge of your own schedule and everything, and what you're doing, right?
Yes. Exactly. And I'm what most people don't know is I'm so far ahead of schedule. Like I've literally shot 16 YouTube videos that I haven't even released yet within the last 4 months. I've just been working constantly and shooting. I've been traveling all around the world shooting it. And basically I have all December set aside to edit all these videos so I can keep on releasing a video once a week. So there's basically unlimited ideas, you know, and people are constantly coming to me with ideas, constantly come up with my own ideas, you know, so it's never going to stop. It keeps on coming.
So that's the key to staying ahead of it, is getting things done in advance.
Yep, for sure.
Definitely. I want to open the board up to my other host. I have Blackout. We usually have a slew of hosts with us. We usually like 4 of us or 5 of us, but some of them got things going on. But we have Blackout and Nomo. Blackout, I'll start with you. Do you have any questions for Devin?
Yeah, all right. So about 2 weeks ago, I actually bought a GoPro Hero camera because I'm involved in the car scene. So I, record cars racing, drifting, taking pictures, all kinds of stuff. And I'd like to ask you, what would be a good program or a good way to edit these videos, such as adding effects, color effects, slow motion, things of that sort?
Right. I think the kind of the basic one out there, as far as people that haven't had a ton of experience with editing and stuff like that, I think the best one out there is probably Final Cut X, which is similar to the program I use, but mine's a little bit more advanced. So I'd suggest Final Cut X as far as being able to still do the effects and putting it in slow motion. Or I would suggest Adobe Premiere Pro, which is also another great software for doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny that you say Premiere Pro, because I have that one. I've been playing around with Sony Vegas. Have you played around with that, or is there any limits to that you do or you don't like about it?
Yeah, I mean, when I went to film school, everyone used Final Cut 7. Like, that was the thing. If you're not using that, and the thing is, because everyone used that, you had to use that, otherwise you couldn't share projects. And then after film school, everyone has kind of switched over to Adobe Premiere Pro. So that's kind of like the high standard as far as what people are kind of using in the industry and whatnot. So that's kind of why I have to basically use what everyone else is using. And generally speaking, everyone's using either Final Cut 7 or Adobe Premiere Pro. As far as on a professional level.
And have you played around with that GoPro at all?
Yes, I actually have the new one, the GoPro 3, and then I use another camera similar to the camera company called Contour, which is also another great camera. But I've used it for several videos, and I mean, it works great, especially for getting shots that you normally can't do with like a bigger camera. But I mean, for car stuff and sticking in angles that no one else has seen before, like I think it's amazing for that kind of stuff.
So the quality's all still there compared to the other camera that you use?
Yeah, especially like the GoPro 3, which I think came out a couple of weeks ago. Like the image quality on that literally blows my mind, and it's very similar to the camera that I use, the Canon 5D Mark III. So yeah, I mean, I'd suggest that to anyone, especially for the price. Like $400 for what that camera can do, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the camera you use, I mean, I'm sure that's running you a couple grand, like $5 or so, right?
Yeah, it's $2,600 or $2,600.
Okay, and then you got to add all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, the lenses usually are, I mean, as far as like on a professional end, the lenses usually are about the same price as the camera. And I have probably 4 or 5 different lenses that I use on a regular basis. So, I mean, it usually adds up. I mean, it's a $10,000 setup for what I use as far as camera equipment. But, I mean, that's how I make my living. So I have to have kind of what's standard.
Yeah, it's like having a car getting to work. I mean, you got to have it. You just have a nice one.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is like if you're going to travel to Africa or Iceland or somewhere else in the world, like you're going to want to capture that the best quality possible, you know, and if you can understand the tools, like why not get the best tools that are the most mobile, you know, and that's kind of the setup that I have, or at least the setup that I think I have.
Yeah, definitely. Nomo, I'm going to go to you. Do you have any questions for Devin?
Oh, yeah, I noticed that in your original Assassin's Creed parkour video that you were in a city and it seemed pretty empty. So which city and when did you go there to get it so that it was so empty?
Right. Well, that's Salt Lake City, Utah. And, I mean, it's kind of known as one of the cleanest cities in the United States, at least. And it wasn't like I was going there at weird times. Like, I was usually going there between, like, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night. So it wasn't like we're going at 3 o'clock in the morning or anything. And that's, I mean, just the parts we happened to be running were parts where there was hardly anyone there. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of comments saying, what city is this? It looks completely deserted. And it's not that people don't live there or anything. I'm not sure if I just got lucky or whatnot, you know, but yeah, it really isn't a deserted city, but it is a really clean city, and I think that's probably why I got portrayed that way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Devin, I want to turn to the phone lines. We got a caller calling in. He's got a question for you. Let me bring him in here. Caller, you're live.
Okay.
Hi. You know, I've been checking up on YouTube on how much people make off YouTube, and there's some people that are, I think they're up there in the millions, making millions off posting videos on YouTube. Now, their quality is not even close to your quality. I was checking out some of your videos. Your cinematography is incredible. I'm really surprised on how you could, like the skydiving one you have. You must have like a helicopter or something. But anyway, I mean, is YouTube really paying really good? I mean, I don't want an exact figure, but are they paying you pretty well for that?
Right. So, yeah, that's a great question. So I'd say, like, the top 100 YouTubers in the world, they're all making six figures, potentially, or close to it, you know. And then what happens, what a lot of these YouTubers are doing is they are selling merchandise, or they are selling, like, iTunes. If they're a musician, they're selling iTunes, and that's where most of their money is made. Like, for my videos, because I spend so much stuff on the production, like, as you're saying, like, most people, YouTubers, they're just them talking in front of the camera, so there's not that much overhead or expense. With what I do is usually, like, we're flying in different places around the world and that kind of thing. The way I'm able to do it is I get sponsors. So, like, that wingsuit video you were just talking about, I had Intel sponsor that. So they flew me into Hawaii, and we basically rented out an airport, or a little airport, to shoot that video. And most of my money, just because we're on this topic, it actually doesn't come from, like, ad revenue, which YouTube, they put ads on our YouTube videos, and then we basically get a percentage of that. But most of my money is not coming from that. It's actually from, like, selling stock footage. So companies like Dr. Pepper or actually United States Tourism, they bought, like, several of my shots from my YouTube videos to use in, like, a nationwide commercial campaign. And those are the people that pay really well. And that's how I'm able to keep on doing what I'm doing.
Cool. Thank you for taking my call.
Question?
Yeah, thank you, caller.
Wait. Actually, can I ask, do you think without your sponsors and everything, you could live off just the YouTube advertisements alone?
Yes, I could. But I'd be pretty close to breaking even, I think, without my sponsors. But, I mean, anywhere like, literally the last 2 years, I have not paid for a single airplane ticket. It's always been out of someone else's pocket. You know, anywhere I've stayed at, all my expenses have been covered. My food has been covered, you know. So, I mean, it helps super big time to have companies and people that want to be attached to what you do as far as sponsor, and that's kind of how I made it. And I'm guessing there's probably been a couple of viewers thinking to themselves, well, how do I get sponsors or how do I do that? The way I did it is I first would go to my friends who had companies, and I was like, hey, I just want to do a video kind of promoting your guys' product and help your guys' product out, and then other companies will see that I can do things with sponsors, and then they'll want to sponsor my YouTube channel. So for the first year, I was literally doing everything for free as far as these things with the sponsors. And then after that, big companies saw that, and then they came to me and they're like, well, we saw you sponsor this clothing company with Human Slingshot. We would love to pay you to do something similar, and we'll give you a big budget for that, you know, and that's kind of how that process has worked out for me.
Cool. Thank you for answering my call. So many questions answered. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for calling. And we have another caller here. Let me cue him up. Caller 2, you're live.
Thank you for taking my call. Devin, first of all, congratulations on your success thus far.
Thank you.
The question I have is, you're in a career that pretty much you invented. It didn't exist 5 years ago. Where do you see things ending up 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Yes, I think without question the future is the internet. So anything television, like you can see all these big companies, like for example Disney, like they're switching over and they're putting a lot of focus now on like even their YouTube channel and social media. So I think without question that is the future. As far as what I kind of have planned or my hope and my ambitions is I want to become one of the top YouTubers in the world, which is I guess a pretty big claim, but that's kind of what I want, and I'm working for that. And why I want that is I just want to have a voice where I can create the kind of content that I want to. But I definitely see everything going that way. And then my goal is once I create this bigger audience, I want to do web series and things that you kind of would expect on the big screen, but on an internet as far as like on a weekly series and stuff like that. Does that answer the question, kind of?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in, Colin. Yeah, Devin, you got some good light-ups on the board here. I wanted to take those calls. I have a question for you, too. As far as, like, getting into, doing YouTube videos and, like, you were saying about the stock videos, so you just post them up on, you shoot a scene, we'll say, and you put them on YouTube, and then what, the company would contact you to get the rights to that, or is it something that you have go out there and market to them?
Right. So I run, like, I don't have a website. Like, I'll eventually get a website, but I market everything 100% to my YouTube channel. And I have, like, in the description of my videos saying for business inquiries only, contact me here, and then I have an email. So people like United States Tourism, or I actually just sold some footage for a Dr. Pepper commercial. They contacted me. They just sent me an email saying, hey, we love your trike drifting video. We would love to buy 5 seconds of footage. How much do you charge? And then basically we work out those deals through the internet or through email. But the only reason they know about it is 100% through my YouTube channel. Like I'm not selling my stuff on like a stock footage website. I just let my YouTube channel speak for itself.
Nice. Okay, that's really good input. And have you thought about doing, like getting into full-length movies? I mean, I think you've done something like it, but have you thought about getting into that, or is that not something you want to go to?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to. I would say a year from now I'll start shooting my first kind of full-length movie, but it will be not for theaters. It will be for like a YouTube audience. As far as it will be in segments, and it will be a web series just because that's kind of where I see the future and everything going. But I'm just focused right now on building an audience. So when I spend so much time on this big project, there's someone there to watch it.
Awesome. That's really good. We have another caller here. I'm gonna take the board here. Caller 31120, you're live.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. How you doing?
Okay. I didn't know if y'all got this call. Awesome. I'm glad y'all answered. Nice to be able to talk to you, Devin. Really big fan of yours. Been watching your videos for quite a while now, I must say. And I have a question for you regarding what you just said about building your audience. I mean, everyone out there wants to make a YouTube channel, build an audience. They see what you're doing, they see what other people are doing, the big YouTubers, and they want that. But, it's kind of hard to do that. So my question to you is, you said you would go around and try to get people you would do videos for free for them to, advertise their business or whatnot. How would you necessarily get a video like that out there when you're first starting? Like, how do you show people that?
Right. Well, I would first, what I would suggest is I created, and this is what I did, is I created like 4 or 5 videos on just random things. Like one of my first videos I did was a bike jump video, and then another one was breakdancing to classical music. So I created like good content. I didn't show off like a product. And then we emailed a water jetpack company in Miami who makes this thing you can fly around with. And I emailed them, and I was like, hey, these are my videos on my channel, and I would love to create something like these for your product. And I was like, I'll do it completely for free. All I ask is you fly me out there and cover my expenses. And then they were like, a free video, and they saw the quality of my videos, so they were like, we would love to have you come out here. And that's basically how I got like my first real deal as far as that goes. And then from there, it made it really easy to kind of sell myself because I had done one for this company. And the thing was I could prove through numbers that it made a difference. So for that jetpack company, I contacted them afterwards, and I was like, Did you guys see an increase on your website? Did you see an increase in sales? And it gave me all the statistics so I could actually take those statistics to companies and say, look, this is what I did for this company. This is how it affected their website. This is how it affected their sales. So it made it a lot easier to sell myself because it actually did help that company out.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I was reading about that in your blog, and I thought that was really neat. And reading your blog actually is what kind of opened my eyes to how these YouTubers, are working with making money and things of some sort. But just a question. I mean, I don't want to waste your time or anything. I'm not sure about that. But okay, say I'm a young person, young male, not sure what I want to do. I love photography and stuff. You mentioned you went to film school and stuff. Would you recommend someone just stop going to college and just go to film school? Would you recommend going to that? What is your take on someone going to that instead of going to traditional college?
No, honestly, I think traditional college is good enough.
Really?
Not to downsize my film school, and I know where I went to school was BYU in Utah, and it wasn't a technical school, so I didn't learn a lot of the technical things I do now. Most of my learning, as far as what I do now, it was 100% through hands-on experience. It was by me going online and typing in what's the cheapest, nicest camera out there, and then it would be searching on Wikipedia, photography skills, and then just learning from the internet all these different skills, and essentially that's kind of how I taught myself. So, I mean, you really don't have to rely on film school, and film school is so expensive as it is,
Yeah.
The one thing film school was huge on, though, is I got to network with other passionate people that did what I did, and now, even to this day, a lot of those people I'll work with from time to time, and that's been a huge part of it. So as far as networking, yes, but as far as a lot of the skills, if you're not doing it now, you probably want to start doing it now, and you don't need to be going to film school to be creating movies. So,
okay, last question real quick. Last question. Have you thought about doing a vlog? I really like your behind-the-scenes video, but have you thought about doing a daily type deal?
Yeah, I've thought about it. The problem is I am so awkward in front of camera. Well, not awkward, but that's just not my thing. So actually my behind the scenes is my first step to be in front of the camera because I literally, that's my weakness. So my first thing was I'm going to get familiar with just doing this and comfortable. And I mean, you watch my first behind the scenes to where it is now. It's 100 times better as far as a lot more natural. So I'm first just getting over that fear, and then I'll start doing the vlogging thing and that kind of thing. So that's kind of my plans as it is now.
Okay, I was just curious about that, but yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. But really, thank you for answering the call and talking to me. It's kind of an honor, if I must say. I know you may not think of that, but it's really cool to be able to just talk to you. But thanks.
No, I super appreciate it. It makes what I'm doing worth it, hearing stuff like that. So thank you for helping me get to where I'm at. I mean, without you guys, I really wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So thank you.
Definitely. Awesome. Thanks for calling in. I want to move on to another caller here. Let's see. Caller 0892, you're live.
Aloha, Devin.
Hello, my friend. Aloha.
I'm from Hawaii, and I'm a huge fan. And I just had two quick questions on some of the equipment. I'm looking to buy a Glidecam HD 2000 and a Glidecam HD 4000, and I noticed that you use both. What's the exact difference you would say, and which one would you recommend?
Right. You're shooting on the Canon 5D Mark II, or what camera did you say you're shooting on?
I have a crop 70.
Okay.
But
I would just use the 2000.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, just so you know really fast, I'm sponsored by Glidecam, so it's a little bit easier to get a Glidecam in my case. But the 2000, either one will work just fine. I use the 4000, though, when it's super windy outside. That's usually the only reason why I'll use the 4000 for that camera. And most of the time, though, I'll use the 2000 if I can because it's so much lighter and I can do the exact same thing with it.
Okay, and the second question is, what do you think of shooting anamorphic lenses versus shooting anamorphic filters on your camera filter thread?
I would always say, as far as lenses go, if you can shoot it with the actual lens itself, it's going to look a lot better. I've actually never shot on anamorphic lenses. I've always wanted to, just like movies like Star Trek that were shot on anamorphic. I just think it looks so awesome. But I've never had my personal experience shooting on anamorphic lenses versus filters. But I would always say lenses for sure would be the best option, and filters would be plan B. but I mean, it's cheaper to get what you pay for. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for answering your questions. I'm actually a friend of Otto Simone, so thank you very much.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no problem. Take it easy.
Thanks for calling in. We have another caller here. Let me cue him up. Let's see. Caller 4664, you're live.
Hello, Devin.
Hello.
Nice talking to you. I have a couple questions. When I first started following you, I've been following you for a couple of years, and you came out with a video, a documentary on the surfer photographer guy.
Yes.
Is that ever going to be released, or is it available?
That's a great question. So yeah, that documentary is on a surf photographer called Transcend the John Mozo Story, which, I mean, he was a huge influence with water photography. And I shot that, actually, I lived in Oahu for a year shooting that on the island of Hawaii. And we did it for a $0 budget. So as you know, with $0 budget projects, they take a lot more time. So that's the reason why it hasn't been released yet. And actually, when I went to Hawaii last week, I actually shot the final interviews for that documentary. It's almost edited. I would say it's coming out for sure. I'm trying to think of the actual release date. It will be done, though, within 4 months from now, for sure. So it's been a huge work, and I'm like a perfectionist, so I want it to be, I mean, we're telling a life story on someone who passed away who was super influential, so we just want to make sure we get it right because we know we kind of only have one chance at that. So that's going to be like, kind of like my first real movie that I released that's an hour long. So.
Okay, one other question. On your Facebook page, one time you were taking suggestions for ideas, and you mentioned, I posted, hey, do a just a scenic one of all of Utah. You got that in the works by chance, or?
I did. So I actually already shot it. That's
awesome.
one of my
I teach fourth grade, and I love showing the geography of Utah to my kids and stuff, and I show your videos all the time. They love them.
Awesome. But yeah, I shot it. I shot that actually during the summer. Because Utah, they're known for their snow, so I wanted to make sure I had a ton of snow stuff in there as well. So the video is completely shot except for the snow stuff, which I'll be shooting out in the next couple of months, and then I'll be releasing that. I say probably realistically 3 to 4 months from now, no matter what. But that one I actually had the state of Utah Tourism help out, and they got me hotels to stay in and stuff like that. So I was really lucky and fortunate, and they gave me access to like all the best Utah locations. So that will be out, and that will be out 3 to 4 months from now.
Awesome. Well, keep up the good work. I'm a huge fan. I just love everything you do. Canon should be paying you to use their product.
I know. I wish it was that easy. They helped me. They helped me on the camera warfare video. They gave me like $300,000 worth of lenses to borrow. But they're the only ones I haven't figured out how to get them to sponsor me. And if anyone's out there that's hearing this that has access, get them on that because I would love that. But I had to pay for all my Canon camera equipment.
You make them look good.
Yeah, well, I try to. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Let me talk.
Awesome. Yep. Thanks, caller. We're going to move on to another caller here. Let me queue up 2361, caller. You're live. Let's see. I don't know if that caller's going to be in.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, caller. You're live.
Hello?
Hey.
How's it going?
Devin, it's amazing to talk to you.
Yes.
Okay, so my question was that so a lot of like top 100 YouTubers have like star in their own videos. Right? And I noticed that you're not really in any of your videos. So do you feel like it's kind of harder to build an audience without being the main like centerpiece of your videos?
Right. Yes, 100%. And I honestly think I'm the only YouTuber out there that I know of, at least, that has been able to be successful as not like this personality. That's kind of how my what I was going to say is that's kind of, I've made my camera personality as far as like the style that I shoot and everything. So now when people see it, they know it's a Devin Supertramp video or a Devin video. But it's still a problem that I deal with because I think I could grow substantially more if I had, what was I going to say, like a face. And that's why I started the Behind the Scenes channel, just so people knew who I was and kind of my personality and how I went about that.
Right.
And that's been like a huge growth for me because then people feel connected to me more so because they see what I look like and how I interact and stuff like that. But yeah, it definitely has slowed me down, I think, but it's not impossible.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in. Devin, I have a question for you. Tell us about working with the awesome paintball warfare video. That was just insane, man.
Yeah, that one was a blast. And we were super, once again, going back to the sponsors. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, because I'm not so pushy with our sponsors as far as, like, sponsored by. But because everyone's like, oh, you must have super rich parents. But that's not the case, you know. With something like the paintball warfare video, we had the paintball company sponsor it. So we had 100,000 paintballs donated to us. We had 100 paintball guns. We had the people that like work on the guns come, and then we also Nitro Circus contacted me, who's on MTV, and they just had a big movie come out not too long ago, and they were like, we would love just to be involved with your YouTube videos as well. Like, what can we do to be a part of it? And they had a lot of awesome vehicles. So in that video, they have a car jumping over another car, and they were the ones that donated that kind of stuff. So it was, I think we had about 150 people there total. And I'll tell you guys a little secret that no one else has heard that I haven't done yet. I'm supposed to do a behind-the-scenes on video, but I haven't. But when we first started shooting that video, I kept on getting hit with paintballs on the camera and the face, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And what we ended up doing is that video was shot with no paintballs, even though we had the paintballs. And then we had to add paintballs afterwards as far as, like, things coming out of the guns, just because I couldn't get the shots I wanted to get without getting pegged. So
oh, wow, that's amazing.
On that video. And there's a couple, there's probably like 4 shots in there where we got, like, pickup shots of paintballs splattering, but as far as the actual battle, there was no paintballs used because I kept on getting hit too bad.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. See, I love the behind the scenes, input on that, because that just makes things so much awesome.
Yeah. Yep. True story.
One thing I definitely want to, because we're getting ready to, well, we still got some time. We're going to run you over a little bit into like another 3 minutes. But my question to you is, I want to ask you, this is kind of off of the video stuff. Since we talk about video games heavily on Sandbox, do you play video games?
I do. Now, I grew up as probably the biggest video game nerd. Like, I didn't have any friends. I would just stay at home and play video games. And I, like, completely... Now, the thing is, though, now, YouTube takes up 100% of my life. So I'm not able to play video games like I used to. Like, I bought Assassin's Creed 3, and I did a video on it, but I haven't even opened it. Like, it's still in the package.
Oh, wow.
And it's hard now because the video games, they're like the biggest things that go big on YouTube, because people that play video games love YouTube, vice versa. So, like, you have to stay up to date. Freddie W., who's another big YouTube channel, they do, like, almost everything is focused on video games. And they were kind of telling me the same thing. We're so busy doing what we're doing that we don't even have time to play video games. So they kind of jokingly said about hiring an intern, and all that intern would do would be play video games and let them know kind of what's hot and funny things they could do for their videos. But, yeah, I love video games, but I don't play them as much as I used to, or I don't play them at all now, just because YouTube is a literal 24-hour job per day kind of thing.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I know Xbox Live has been getting pretty busy for me, and I don't even, I play video games as much as I can doing traveling and stuff, but I published, a book called Blog Schnosk, and a sci-fi novel that I wasn't really even looking to go big with, and through Xbox Live it's taken off, and thanks to my other co-host here helping me push it. So it's amazing what can go viral, if you just follow through with what you're doing and the way you do it with passion,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And one thing I want to bring up, if it's possible, we'll have to stay in contact here in the next couple days or even the week, and I want to try to get you like a one-on-one with you and do something and put it on my website to share with more of the people calling in, because you got a really in-depth story, and I kind of want to open it more. So we'll have more time on something like that. So I'll definitely keep in touch with you on that. We'll try to open that up. I want to open up to Nomo and Blackout if you guys have any last questions for him before we get ready to wrap up.
I don't know. I think our callers were pretty thorough with this.
Yeah, they were. That was good. That was really good. Blackout, do you got anything else?
No, I don't have any questions. The callers pretty much handled everything.
Actually, I do have. I'm going to see if I can't take one more caller here. I don't know if. Let's see. 6194 caller, you're live if you have a question. Okay. Yeah, I think my board's lighting up like crazy, so it's kind of getting filled here. What made you come up with Devin Supertramp?
Great question. So one of my favorite books is called Into the Wild, and it's a true story on a guy named Chris McCandles. And he's just going to college, everyday person, and he realized he wasn't doing his dreams. So he basically just left everything. He burned his Social Security card, and he just went on a road trip, and his goal was to get to Alaska. And the process is basically he lived his dreams through going to Alaska. And he actually ended up dying. Like, it ended up being a sad story. But at the end of his life, he realized that he had no one to share all his adventures with. So that's kind of why I called myself Devin Supertramp, is the process of him pursuing his dreams. He called himself Alexander Supertramp. So basically it's giving homage to this guy that decided to pursue his dreams and live his dreams. And going back to the thing, when he died, he realized he didn't share his adventures with anyone. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is learning from that mistake and trying to share my adventures with the world and have everyone a part of it. So that's kind of where the name came from, Into the Wild.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, hey, man, we're just about out of time. We're going to wrap up, but thank you so much for calling in, and hopefully we can connect you in the next couple of days and do a thorough one-on-one interview, you know.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for your time, guys, and we'll be in touch. Take it easy.
Yes. Is there anything you want to promote before you jump off?
No, I mean, I have my Far Cry 3 video coming out tomorrow, and then the following week I did a live-action Halo first-person shooter video, which I believe is going to be my biggest YouTube video yet. So that will be coming out the following week. So any Halo fans, I think it's going to do you guys justice, or at least I hope so. And then in January, I am doing something twice as big as the human rope swing video that I did last year, which is my biggest video. And we're doing something, I think, twice as crazy. So be prepared for that. But I do have a ton of videos coming out, and I'm super stoked, and the best is yet to come. So, yeah, we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Well, we're all excited to follow you, and we're looking forward to all the awesomeness you're going to bring our way, because it's entertaining, and I love seeing someone that's actually passionate about what they do. You know, it's awesome. So thanks again.
Awesome. Yeah, and one last thing. For anyone that just kind of wants to see what I'm doing, what I'm working on, I am on Instagram, so if you just follow me at Devin Supertramp, you can see all the videos and kind of get a heads up on what I'm doing and what I'm working on. So that is that.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, my friend, and we'll be in touch here. All
right, take it easy. Bye.
Take care. Good stuff, guys. Wow, Devin's awesome, man. He's got some really good insight, and I want to thank all the callers for calling in, the listeners. And if we didn't have a chance to take your call, I do apologize. The board was kind of filled up. But what we are going to do is, if I can arrange that one-on-one interview with him here in a couple of days, I'll be posting that up on the website and sharing it on YouTube, and just trying to find a way that you guys can download it and listen to it, or whatever the case may be. But I want to definitely pick his brain a little more, and he's exciting, so that's good.